Good morning. Good morning, friends. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, hey, hey. So, yesterday, yesterday was a disaster. I thought that I could be smart and stream while out in a boat, out in a boat, right? It didn't work. It did not work. And I tried to get into the StreamYard from my phone and end it. And it didn't end. I mean, it did end, but do you guys remember or you guys know what I'm talking about? Remember, this happens to us all the time when we're behind. Hey, Chris. Good to see you, Chris. Yes, we are Clawfus buddies. Yes, yes, yes. Do you guys remember how because we're behind on the trial during the day so that we can skip through the lunches and the breaks and sidebars and all that jazz, right? So when the actual trial feed ends, it automatically like restarts my stream from the very beginning. And that's what happened. And I did not realize that I mean, I knew that that happens, but I didn't realize that's what happened yesterday when I was gone. So, later last night, QB messages me and she's like, "Yo, did you realize that we missed, like, a whole hour worth of horrible text messages from this guy?" And I was like, "Oh, no." So I went back and watched, and sure enough, we missed quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but enough. And I'm not gonna not even lie to you whenever I tell you that I missed still have not watched the vast majority of Proctor's testimony because, I was out and about. Yesterday was husband's birthday. I had to go get his cake and, um stuffs, you know? So, I'm wondering if I should rewind it. Should I rewind it and watch what I missed from his? Yeah, definitely QB, because I did peek in on some things, and there are words that comes out of these people's mouths that even Jackson, that is no bueno at all. Yeah, it's really bad. Like, mm, we missed quite a lot. And then I missed way even more than you because while I was gone, I missed all of that testimony. I missed all of it. I caught words here and there, but I mean, mm-mm. He was trying to drive the 1 point home, QB. I totally get it. I understand it. It doesn't make it cringe any less, though. Give me a few. Not okay. So what I want is the timestamp for where his testimony not starts, but basically all the text messages from the beginning because I missed all of it. And I can, like, bump it up, I can speed it up to get through that part, but, mm, I is that okay with you guys to have to rehear some of that with me? 'Cause I feel so behind. No worries, Lauren. Let me run up and say hey to everybody in the chat. Let me do that. My mouse is acting stupid. I don't know. I probably have a cough drop stuck in it. It's like not wanting to be scrolly really good. It's probably got a cough drop stuck in it. I mean, from now on, and if something's not working, it's probably got a cough drop stuck in it. Hey, Lauren and Henny, good to see you, my mom and dada duo. Hey, Sherry, good morning. Not talking to you, phone. And a good. Oh, Siri was getting ready to say, and a good morning to you too. They are cute, right, Sherry? Hi again, Chris. It's good to see you, friend. Hey, Morgana Banana. Hope you're feeling better. Hey, QB. Yes, put your DNA all over that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. And do all the other YouTubey things like subscribe, hashtag replay, share. Sharing is caring. Let's see. Let's see. Have I missed anybody? Oh, you like the intro? Thanks, Chris. I like it too. I think it's cute. Definitely Clophus buddies. Hey, Miss Steph. Hey, hey. She said I was trying to tell people in the chat, even though I was behind. It's so good. Mm. Jackson does start his cross. I watched. Well, yeah, that's where the trigger warning comes in, is during Jackson's cross. Ugh. Um, I hope, Lauren, that you and your mama had a great weekend together. Steph, you kill me. She says she's using pineapple dry shampoo for the bonos. My God. Hey, Margaret. Good to see you. They make trash cans for those. Hey, Spins. Friend, 5:53 is where I left off. Yeah. But what I'm thinking is okay, so I remember getting through, I'm looking, I'm scrolling through. We got through the evidence stuff, and then they went to break, and then they come back. I think I'm gonna start where they came back, which is right about here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Morgana said, I just died a little this weekend, but I'm feeling much better now. Ooh, yay, Steph. Yay. Paintings are supposed to arrive Thursday. I'm excited. It's before that. They say the words before that. Okay. Never going to get my makeup on. Yeah, you will. Yeah, when they come back. But 5:53. I feel like I personally missed a lot of that, because I was out. I'm trying to think. Because I basically missed all the text messages. When I said, "I'm putting real pants on to go to town," basically, I didn't see anything after that. And I know that I missed a break during that because when I did get on while I was gone, I saw that they were on a break. They really were on a break. I think it's about 5:20. Let's see.
Be mindful to step up and just remember your phone.
All right, let me make me change this.
So, jurors, before we begin, Mr. Lally, as you approach the podium there, when I tell you that I strike something from the record, I know I've told you before, that means you're not to consider it, okay? Go ahead, Mr. Lally.
Thank you.
Mr.
Good
Lally.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, with reference to, before we broke, we were talking a bit about Julie
I'm
Alvin.
glad you had a good weekend,
Yes.
Lauren.
And, how would you describe
That's sweet.
your relationship, if any, between Julie Albert and Christopher Albert prior to January 29, 2022?
Loose acquaintances?
Did he say
People that
loose?
you knew through your sister, is that correct?
Correct.
Loose
Now-
acquaintances? Oh.
With
Okay, yeah. Did he say loose acquaintances? What does that even mean? Or did I mishear that? Hold on, let me move my computer. I feel like he said loose acquaintances. What is that? Thank you, QB. Let me put the trigger warning up. So, trigger warning. I don't know if you guys heard these words that came out of his mouth yesterday. What are loose acquaintances? What does that even mean? I don't understand what loose acquaintances. I know he's loose with his lips. I know that much. What do you guys think? He's loose-lipped. Yeah, trying to separate himself from them like barely acquaintances. Okay. Okay. It's code for we're close, but I don't want to tell you that we're close. Well, I'll tell you what. The mouth on this man. The mouth on this man. Oh. The mouth. So let me just tell you right now, if you have little ones that can hear the words coming out of this man's mouth, you might want to put headphones on or earbuds, AirPods, something. Because there are words that are going to come out of his mouth that I would never let my child hear. Just saying. So all right, let's go.
reference to the occasions that you had said where you may have been at the same place at the same time at a family function or something
Hi,
like that.
Mom.
Over what period of time are we talking about, and about how many different instances of that occurred over those years?
Like I mentioned, they had never been to my house. It was either at my sister's home or at my parents' house. Over the course of maybe 10 years, I might have been at the same function half a dozen times.
And at those times that you were at the same function a half a dozen times or so, how much interaction would you have with either Christopher Albert or Julie Albert or even Colin Albert at those functions?
Just casual conversation, be cordial, and just typical conversations. Hi, how's it going? Things of that nature.
Now, with reference to these experiences or relationships, or lack thereof, that you had
I love
with
how
Christopher Julie Albert,
just called
what, if
Morgana's
any,
mom a
conversations
booby.
did you have with your
Stop it.
supervisors as far as superior officers
Hi,
in your
Morgana's
unit,
mom.
in regard
I explained the connection or with my sister to the Albert family.
and who did you explain that to?
That would be Sergeant Mechanic, Lieutenant Fanning, and Detective Lieutenant Tully.
All right, Trooper, I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up, maybe approach the microphone a little closer.
And just with respect to those disclosures, what specifically did you tell either Sergeant Mechanic, Lieutenant Fanning, or Lieutenant Tully?
Basically, that the Alberts are my sister's friends. That I've been at some functions with them, and the only kind of connection with the Albert family is through my sister.
And just when you say the Alberts, as far as who specifically within the Alberts are you talking about that had a friendship with your sister?
Julie, Chris, and their son Colin.
Now, with regard to the investigation that you were conducting and the interviews that you conducted, what, if any, impact did those relationships have with regard to your interviews of them specifically, or the investigation in total?
Zero. Absolutely zero impact on this investigation.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Approach. Margaret. Hello, my loose acquaintance. Would you like a cup of coffee? His voice should fade a lot, considering the amount of times he has to tell the jury and the court that these were very unprofessional, not nice texts. Just saying.
Sir, I'm showing you a document. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
It's a text message thread labeled Proctor Friends.
Now, over the course of your
Friends.
investigation, over the course of this case, are you aware that there were
Hmm.
iCloud data that was obtained from your personal cell phone?
Yes.
And different text strings from that iCloud data from your personal cell phone, correct?
Correct.
And with respect to what has just been placed before you, is that an excerpt or piece from those particular messages?
It is.
And from the front page of that, can you tell the jury who are sort of the participants in this particular text communication?
The several numbers that aren't identified. The three that are under kind of nicknames me and my buddies have for each other.
And generally speaking, just as far as the participants in this text communication, who are these people to you, and how do you know them? How long have you known them? Who are
The members on this text thread are close friends from junior high, first grade even.
they? So people you've known for years, is that correct?
Correct.
And do each of them live, or do any of them live within the general area at this time?
Some of them do, yes.
And so when some of them do, some of them do not, is that correct?
Correct.
And the ones that do not, how far away do they live?
As far away as Tennessee.
Now, with reference to this, there's an indication as far as the first message sent or last message sent from this particular text chain, correct?
I'm sorry, repeat the question, please.
Sure. Sort of towards the middle of the first page. Help direct your attention to that area. Is there any indication as far as the first message sent and the last message sent with respect to this text chain?
On the first page, yes.
And what is indicated as far as the first message and the last message?
The first message is, I need to brandish a gun more often. The last is, Chip, name of that BPD cop.
No, I'm sorry, sir. If I could direct your attention to the first page in this packet, page 2527, you see conversation details.
Name of that BPD cop.
Sorry, may I approach?
Yes.
I thought these were cop buddies. It was a text message between cop buddies.
Okay.
But he's saying they're high school friends?
Do you see what I was talking about now?
I do, sir.
And from that area labeled conversation details, there's a first message sent date and time and a last message sent date and time, correct?
Yes.
What is the first message sent date and time?
It's 10/18 of 2021 at 8:48 a.m. The last message sent is 8:31 2022 at 11:19 p.m.
And is there also within that conversation
Hey,
details
Shiraz.
an indication as
Good
far
to
as the
see you,
number of
girlie.
messages over that time frame within this communication?
There is.
And what does it list for number of messages?
It's 38,000.
Shiraz, we're watching this back yesterday because, see, here's what had happened. What had happened was yesterday we were watching the haul of it, but then around about this time during the trial, I had to leave to go do a Walmart pickup order and to get a cake for my husband's birthday. So I left my stream running here from home, but I had my phone with me and I tried to get on StreamYard through my phone. It wouldn't work very well. And something happened and I had to end the stream. So I missed like a good chunk, maybe about an hour, hour and a half or something of the end of the stream. So we're going back and watching it from there. That's what we're doing.
707.
And fair to say the packet that you have before you does not contain all 38,707 messages, correct?
That's correct.
The first message that you had, I believe, alluded to in reference to the first one listed within this communication, what date and time is that?
That was January 29th, 2022 at 10:36 p.m.
And who is that message from?
Yes, Steph.
My friend who lives in Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am.
And what, if anything, did he send to the group?
I need to brandish a gun more often.
And if you know, what is that in reference to?
He just recently moved to Tennessee, and he was kind of, I think, making a joke as kind of the lifestyle down there where
Right,
guns are more
Shiraz.
prominent or more common to be carried around there. So I interpreted that as a joke in that nature.
This dude's a jackwagon.
And the next message, sir, from that same page, 2527.
The next one is it's bold.
And is there a name associated with that number that's in these?
No,
Do you know who that person is?
I don't.
And the next message, sir, from 10:52 p.m.
Chip, name of that BPD cop.
And Chip, who is that referring to, sir?
That is one of my nicknames I've had since maybe high school.
So a nickname that would be familiar amongst these group of friends in particular.
Yes.
And This time period when these text messages begin, sometime after 10:30 or 10:50 p.m. on January 29th, where are you and what are you doing in reference around that time period?
At this point in time, on the 29th, I'm home.
And that last text message, do you respond to that at approximately 10:53 p.m.?
Yes,
And what was your response?
John O'Keefe.
And the next message down from there, also at 10:53 p.m.?
Yes, he took custody of his sister's kids.
That's your response. There's another response above that, is that correct?
Yes.
And what does that say?
How old?
And you respond as far as he took custody of his sister's kids, correct?
Correct.
Skipping down a couple, do you see an entry at 10:53:49 p.m.?
Yes,
And that's from a 617 number, is that correct?
correct.
And what is the response there?
Oh man, that's rough.
And following that, do you respond to the earlier query as far as age?
This
I do.
dude is definitely
did you say?
loosey-lippy.
Mid-40s.
Now, the next message below that, as far as indication of mid-40s, what is that?
His age.
No, I understand that. I'm sorry. The next message underneath that, sir.
I'm sorry. It's a Facebook link.
And do you recall what that Facebook link is to?
It's to John O'Keefe.
And is that something you sent or one of your friends sent?
One of my friends sent.
That's why we
And,
call
the
her a
next message
floozy.
below, turning to now page
Sure
2529
has.
at the top there.
Call Steph a
What is the
floozy.
next message that's sent?
Or she calls herself a floozy.
What's that? Don't have the book anymore.
And as far as the book, what did you understand that to mean? Can we approach?
Sure.
Hey, Kayleen. Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh. Sidebar City. Let me see. Let's zoom, 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 and a zoom, zoom. I see Turtle Boy in bright pink or red. I can't tell if it's pink or red. It looks red. Oh, yeah. I like her pinstripe jacket.
10-minute break. Okay.
Okay, they're going on a 10-minute break. Let's scooch through this 10-minute break. Coral. Okay, I like coral. I like coral. Um, let's see here. Judge ordered no pink. Let's go. All right, here we go back.
That's your mic, Stephanie Cooper. Go on the oath.
Yes, sir.
Procedure on?
Yes.
Trooper, if I could direct you back to.
Yeah,
page
everybody
2529
outside in the everybody outside was wearing pink
And below that text stating what's that?
with
I
signs that
don't
said
have
free
the book
Karen Reed
anymore.
and stuff.
You respond, is that correct?
Yes.
And what is it
Yeah.
that you say there?
This one is a nightmare. Forget about the kids. That's awful.
And sir, if I could direct your
Hey,
attention.
Jenny Trioli.
again,
Hey, baby. How are you?
within that
Good to
same
see you.
packet to 2532.
God, can you guys hear the lawnmower outside?
And there's a message there sent at 10:56 PM, is that correct?
Yes.
And who's that from?
A friend who lives in Tennessee.
Pink
And what does he
pie.
say in that text?
I like a pink
I'm sure the owner of the house will receive some shit.
And you respond at 10:56 as well as 10:57, is
as
that
well
correct?
as they probably should.
And what is it that you respond?
My first response was nope. Homeowner is a Boston cop too.
Mm.
And what, if anything, were you saying, or what was the purpose of that text in regard to the homeowner?
I was just letting him know that essentially Mr. O'Keefe is a Boston cop and the homeowner was a Boston cop as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I could turn your attention to 2533. And top of the page, sir, read through that page as far as who's texting and what are they saying?
Again, for my friend from Tennessee and myself, I hope not, but I can't see it. I responded with, she waffled him. I looked at his body at the hospital. He was banged up.
Now, as far as the next text from a 781 number,
Mhm.
What does that say?
Did he get beat up?
And you responded to that.
So Jenny, I missed a lot of this yesterday. So I'm going back and rewatching what I did miss. The last hour and a half ish of this dude's junk. But I did see bits and pieces of yesterday, including bits and pieces of Alan Jackson's cross. So yeah. The words QB reminded me to put a trigger warning up at the bottom of the screen because it's not going to be good. But yeah. Good morning, Miss King. Hey, good to see you. Good to see ya. All right.
Is that correct?
I did.
The objections sustained as to form.
What, if any, response did you provide to that?
Nope.
Objection. The objection was to the former question and the answer.
I'll strike it.
Now,
Strike.
turning your attention to 2534. And from this page, sir, if you could again just read through as far as indicating to the jury who's speaking and what is being said.
From the start of the first text, so the owner of the house.
Yes.
So the owner of the house was a woman cop that beat him. That's what I initially thought after talking to Can paramedic. Then I saw the guy.
And those last two are your responses, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, the following text messages are from your friends, is that correct?
Yes.
What do they say?
Bear, let's focus. What does she waffle to mean? What's the story? I responded, she hit him with her car.
And the she that you're referring to there, who is that?
Miss Reed.
But did she though?
Now, turning your attention to the next page, 2535. Again, if you could start at the top of the page and read through that page and just indicate to the jury who is talking and what is being said.
Okay. My friend in Tennessee states, okay, that's fucked up. I respond, intentional or not. Then another response, gotcha. He was frozen in the driveway and she didn't see him, question mark. That's another animal we won't be able to prove. And then I respond, they arrived at the house together, gone to an argument.
I don't want to speak out loud or out of turn.
The objection's overruled.
Your Honor,
But
if I could say this, there needs to be an identifier of who's
And I understand what you think the mix-up is. So, Mr. Lally, go back.
Thank you.
Sir, if you could please, again, start at the top of the page and just indicate.
No, just after the, gotcha, he was frozen in the driveway, correct, Mr. Jackson?
That's correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
I respond, that's another animal we won't be able to prove. I follow that up. They arrived at the house together, got into an argument. She was driving and left. 781 number responds with, what's the name of the Canton cop living in Canton? The other one involved.
Right, QB?
And how do you respond to that, sir?
There's several other messages before I issue a response.
Objection again. Bottom of the page.
So it's not an objection, but Mr. Lally, why don't you point him?
So, sir, at the bottom of page 2535, you have a response. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, Jenny.
Correct.
And what is that response?
They arrived at the house together, got into an argument. She was driving and left.
Objection.
So it's going to be a matter you can address on cross.
There has to be some accuracy with the reading.
So I understand. So, Mr. Lally, why don't you go point for your witness?
It will,
Yeah,
Shiraz, but we're not
Yes.
monetized over here yet, so we're in the clear.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay.
We can all scream beep when it comes on.
It's a HTML link.
So,
Whiteout.
Margaret, she says we can all scream beep when it comes on. The thing is it doesn't bother me hearing the words. I mean, it bothers me, don't get me wrong, but I'm not shocked to hear the words come out of this creep's mouth. But hearing the word come out of Alan Jackson's mouth over and over and over and over and over again guts me. So, and like QB said, he only does it because he's trying to drive home the point to the jury. I get it. It doesn't make it any less painful, though.
/Proctor iCloud /group chat Feb 2022.
Well, in Shiraz, I'm not even talking about that word. That word bothers me too, but for me, it's the R word that I can't handle. So, spoiler alert,
3.0.
right, Steph?
Can I see what you have for a second, please?
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Lally, it's on there. Why don't you go show your witness? Why don't you just read it, Mr. Lally, and tell us who you attribute it to?
Sure. So, sir, what I'm asking you about is the bottom of page 2535, excuse me, 2535. You indicated.
Lots
50,
of R
right?
words, Steph. Yeah.
Correct.
What did you mean by that?
That Miss Reed had struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2537. Now, do you see a response toward the bottom of the page from yourself, January 29, 2022 at 11:04 p.m.?
Yes.
And can you read that response for the jury?
Yeah, but there'll be some serious charges brought on the girl.
And what did you mean by that, sir?
That throughout the course of the day, we had
Hey, Lisa.
compelling evidence that Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
And you have two responses.
No, Steph, I'm not. It's the gross word for mentally handicapped. Mm-mm. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that's what you mean by demeaning our word, but oh, I'm sure he will, QB, the C word. But like I said, and that's such a gross word. Yes, Steph. Yes, that word.
Responses from friends, the same friends, at the bottom of that page, 2537, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what are those responses?
Keep your voice up loud, please, Trooper Proctor. Jurors can't hear you.
Yes, Your Honor. Number ending in 5051, got to be, I can only imagine what internal affairs of the BPD are trying to get out there. The second response, same number. She hot at least?
And turning your attention to the next page, 2538, at the top, if you could just read a number series of responses from yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
Read from those, sir.
Yep, so these came from me. From all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. She's a whack job. CUNT.
Objection.
So don't spell it. You have to. So these are your words, Trooper Proctor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Cunt. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
He can't even read
And
it.
sir, what is it that you were referring to there, or why would you text that?
Did he get ready to
These were,
spell it and I missed
from
it?
all
Because I
accounts, he
missed
didn't do
that
anything
part.
wrong. Is,
You guys, I
talking
hate to
about
do this.
The homeowner, Mr.
But
Albert.
I'm going to rewind it because I was too busy looking at the chat.
Go ahead and say
And we're
them.
going to hear it
Cunt.
plenty of times anyway.
Didn't
So
do anything wrong.
just
sir.
saying.
At the top, if you could just read
Look at his face because he knows it's coming
a
up.
number series of responses from yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
Read from those, sir.
Yep, so these came from me. From all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. She's a whack job. CUNT.
Objection.
So don't spell it. You have to. So these are your words, Trooper Proctor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Cunt. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
Yes, Patricia.
And sir, what is it that you were referring to there, or why would you text that?
These were, from all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. Is talking about the homeowner, Mr. Albert. I had mentioned the compelling evidence against Miss Reed at this point indicated that Mr. Albert had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death. The rest of the unprofessional and regrettable comments are something I'm not proud of, and I
Hey,
shouldn't
Cal.
have wrote in a private or any type of setting.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sir, at some point, if I could turn your attention to page 2540. And there's a photograph that's shared within this text communication, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And does it indicate who shared that photograph? From the prior page, possible.
The number ending in 5051.
Right, Jenny?
And who is depicted in that photograph that was shared within the group text?
It's Miss Reed being escorted out of the state police Milton Barracks.
And these are all from February 1st of 2022, around that time frame, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, sir, if I could direct you to page 2543. And sir, if I could direct you to the top of the page.
Oh,
and ask
wow,
you to read
Lisa.
through that page indicating who's speaking and what the content of those communications are.
That's crazy.
Okay. Number ending in 4146. Question is that chick a smoke? Again, 4146 question mark. I respond EH. I respond again, not bag, as chief would say. I also respond with she's got a leaky balloon knot, leaks poo.
And what, if anything, is that in reference to?
Again, to Ms. Reed's some medical conditions there.
Oh my
Again,
God.
unprofessional comments I should not have made, that I'm not proud of.
As far as attitudes expressed within these text messages and
Oh
other text
my
messages,
God.
what, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding this?
Wow.
These juvenile unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of this investigation. They said these are unprofessional comments, but they absolutely do not detract from the integrity of the investigation or the facts and evidence of it.
I
May
thought
I
that was a
approach this with
joke that you were making,
Yes.
Steph, about the balloon knot. I didn't know he literally said that. You're gross, dude.
Now, Trooper Proctor,
You're gross.
saying within, we've seen text messages amongst yourself and a variety of different people from that same sort of iCloud area of your personal phone, correct?
I would be
Correct.
mortified if I were
And
him.
among
He
those,
should be
are
mortified.
there communications that you had with members of the Canton Police Department?
Yes.
And how would you characterize, or what was the general content of communications that you had with members of the Canton Police Department?
One communication was to coordinate interview times for firefighters and police officers and to set up a conference room where those interviews could be conducted. Obviously, the presence of Canton detectives or any police officers were not going to be sitting in on these interviews. Another communication was to inquire of
I
relevant
mean, what is he, like a
security
14-year-old
videos that are in
boy?
the area. Their local department, they know the area very well, so I reached out and asked if there's some good cameras in the area that I had of kind of interest in.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Right, Jenny? She says, and please, jury, know my investigation was
I'm showing you
full
the
of
documents.
integrity
Recognize that?
and not impacted by my
Yes, I
instant
do.
hatred and bias
What do you recognize that to be,
against
sir?
Karen Reed.
Text communications between my sister and I.
And the fact that
That's your
I call her a R word and a see you next Tuesday word and talk about her medical things. Okay. In a very derogatory, gross, despicable, immature 14-year-old-ish boy's way. Ugh.
sister Courtney, is that correct?
That's
I'm
correct.
so sorry for his wife.
And
Is he even
similar to
married
what
or
I'd asked you about
still
the
married?
prior packet, as far as a first message sent, date and time, last message sent, date and time, what is indicated on this first page?
First message sent, date, time, December 10th, 2021 at 9:33 p.m. Last message sent, 8:30, 2022 at 8:48 p.m.
And 8:30, that's August 30th, is that correct?
I'm sorry, yes, August 30th, 2022.
And similarly to the other messages, is there an indication as far as how many number of messages were sent between yourself and your sister over that time period?
2,865.
And fair to say that the documents in front of you do not contain 2,865 messages?
Correct.
Now, just in reference to the first message on page 2662, the first page in this packet, do you see that from December 10th of 2021 at approximately 9:33 p.m.?
Yes.
And what does that indicate?
A text message from my sister.
What does it say?
I called earlier, Dolph earlier, and mom was puking in the background.
And do you recall what that was in regard to?
From the sounds of it, my mother had the stomach bug.
Well, he was a cop as of yesterday when he testified. I don't know about today.
Sir, if I
But
could direct your attention to page 2667.
Agreed, Miss King. Yes.
And these are text messages from January 29th, 2022, between yourself and your sister Courtney. Correct?
Correct.
And if you could read from the top of the page through the end, and please indicate to the jury as far as who's talking and who's saying what.
So I texted my sister at work, "What's up?" She responds, "What? Why?" I respond, "I just found it frozen to death on a front lawn in Canton this morning. Actually just interviewed Jen McCabe, said she knows you."
And they knows you, who are
Right,
you
Denny?
referring to?
My sister.
And how did your sister respond to that?
Cut the shit. I responded, "You." There was a typo correction with my response to you. She responded, "Yeah, she knows Jack very well. She's really good friends with Julie." My sister continues on. Her sister is married to Brian Albert. My sister asks, "You still working?" ? I says, yeah, gonna be out for a while. Homicide.
And as far as your answers to those questions, or as far as your communications that you had with your sister at this time on the afternoon of January 29th, what were those in regard to, or why were you communicating that to your sister?
At that time, it was just kind of in the news. I was just kind of letting her know I was out working. She didn't share anything specific. I wouldn't share anything specific on cases with my family or anyone. It was just kind of an overall innocent conversation.
Now, turning your attention to the next page, 2669. Again, if you could read from that page as far as who was talking and what the content is.
All right. My sister starts off, "The Canton thing is a homicide." I respond, "This is at 3 in the afternoon on the 29th. Don't say a word to anyone." She said, "Of course not." I respond, "In the very least, it's suspicious." She responds, "This is your livelihood." And then I would never miss with that. 3:07, I respond, "Julie and Chris were at the bar with the victim and girlfriend. Got to interview them."
I'd like to direct your attention to page 2672. These are messages from February 1st, 2022. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the one at the top starts about February 1st, 5:57 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
And again, if you could read through as far as who's speaking and what the content of those messages are.
I texted my sister, "What's up?" She responded, "Nothing. I just saw Julie, and she said when this is all over, she wants to get you a thank you gift." And I respond, "Get Elizabeth one." Elizabeth's my wife. And my sister responds, "Because I guess her and Chris were friends with John, and she's so proud of you for leading this." And then she writes, "Elizabeth?" ? I respond with, "She's been stuck with the kids for the last 10 nights. My sister responded, "Yeah, but she knew what life is like married to a cop."
And sir, as far as the gift that's mentioned, as far as Julie Albert, is that anything that you have received at any point in time?
I never received a gift. I never asked for a gift. My wife never received a gift. She never asked for a gift.
How would you describe this context of this conversation, or why that's being discussed at this time?
Again, I don't know the thought process of my sister and Julie as far as bringing that idea of a gift into play. Like I said, I didn't ask for one. I never received one. The same with my wife.
Sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2676. And again, if I could ask you to start at the top of the page and read through and just indicate as far as who is saying, who is speaking and what they're talking.
I start out, we write like 8 to 12 warrants on each case. My sister responded, no, I have no idea what the hell you do or how it works. I responded on the 10th at 7:36 p.m. I'm starving, but I also just want to go home. Thanks, though. My sister responds, yeah, but is dinner going to be waiting? She responded with, ha, ha, ha. And then I responded, yep. And then my sister responded with, okay, it's fine. Mom and I just don't want to go home.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Mhm.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
And sir, do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize that?
This is private messages between my wife and I.
Um, Again, what is your wife's name?
Elizabeth.
And what, if anything, does that indicate as far as dates and times and number of messages involved?
Okay, so the first message sent 5/20/2022 at 6:19 p.m. The last message sent 8/31/2022 at 9:16 p.m.
And what, if any, indication does it give as far as number of messages within that text chain?
1,632.
And of those 1,162, there's one message that's listed on that, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is the date and time of that message, and what does it say, and who's speaking?
This is me speaking on June 9th, 2022 at 4:56 p.m. I text my wife, waiting to lock this whack job up.
And what are you referring to in that text, sir?
I'm referring to the arrest after Ms. Reed was indicted by the grand jury.
And again, as far as the terminology that you use in that text message to your wife, why is it?
Again, unprofessional messages I should not have sent. I don't have an explanation other than they're regrettable and it's something I'm not proud of, the language I used.
I approach to retrieve, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, so Trooper Proctor, the jurors can't hear you. So speak directly into your microphone the way I'm doing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Mm, 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 mm.
Maybe approach on this one.
Okay.
All right. Let's speed it up a little bit. I can't. I'm just like, oh my God.
Now, Trooper Proctor, you're familiar with conversations that's within the same text communications from your personal phone with colleagues of yours at the state police?
Yes.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Morgana, that was bomb.com. whenever Barros was on the stand and said what he said about the crack,
Sir,
an A piece was missing? Yeah. Yep. Hmm. It sure asks this guy is what Detective Mark Furman was to O.J. Simpson. Wow. I'd love to go back and watch that trial.
may I have a moment with counsel?
Okay.
Would love to go back and watch that. Ooh, Steph or Jenny. Jenny says, Steph, for keeping Colin Albert out of all of the reports for more than a year is why I think Colin's mom, Julie Albert, wanted to get him a thank you gift. Hmm. You did, Morgana? Yeah.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Showing you another document, sir. Before I get into that, though, if I could turn your attention back to some of the comments on the language used in the January 29th and February 1st or 2nd text communications among your friend group. With reference to that particular time frame and the language that you used, what sort of information have you gathered to that point, and why would you say or use that particular language in your, particularly in your descriptions of the defendant?
So this is, 16, 18 hours later, and we conducted multiple interviews. We
Speak up.
conducted multiple interviews. We knew Mr. O'Keefe never went into Fairview Road. We knew there was one shoe at the scene, one shoe at the hospital. Mr. O'Keefe's,
He's
based
like,
off Mr. O'Keefe's injuries, Miss Reed's statements when Sergeant Buchanan and I
yeah, don't
interviewed
make me
her,
read. Don't make me
her
tell you
broken
again.
taillight, the missing taillight, some taillight pieces found at the scene, the compelling evidence pointing directly at Miss Reed that she struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle led me to make those comments. Whether, like I said, they weren't professional comments, but based on the day's investigation, it was clear that Miss Reed had struck Mr. O'Keefe with their vehicle.
Sir, if I could turn your attention to the documents before you, do you recognize those?
I do.
And as far as the participants in that particular conversation, who were the participants listed there?
It's Trooper David DeChico and myself.
And Trooper DeChico and yourself both work within the same unit with the state police, is that correct?
That's correct.
And beyond the professional relationship you have with yourself, between yourself and Trooper DeChico, how would you characterize your relationship, generally speaking?
We're buddies, we golf together, hang outside of work, our kids play together. So I'd say, we're friends.
Now, within the, again, as far as the first message sent, date and time, and last message sent, date and time within this conversation, if you could describe that for the jury.
First message sent, date and time, March 17th, 2022, 11:08 a.m. Last message sent, date and time, August 18th, 2022, 6:08 a.m.
And again, the number of messages listed within this text chain.
87.
And fair to say the documents before you do not contain 87 text messages, correct?
That's correct, sir.
Now, just in general terms, if you have an opportunity to just look at the first couple pages there, fair to say those are just sort of jokes that you have going back and forth between yourself and Trooper DeChico. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Now, if I could turn your attention specifically to page 2632. And these are text messages starting on April 28th, 2022 at 10:52 in the morning. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was the time again, sir?
April 28th, 2022, 10:52 a.m.
Yes, correct.
And again, sir, with reference to this page, if you could read the content to the jury and please indicate whom is speaking at each respective times.
Okay. I start out without a doubt. He's got diarrhea of the mouth too. Trooper DeChico, rookie move, not going into a meeting with the ME and getting that homicide determination. I respond, Yuri and I had 2 conference calls with her, sent her numerous photos, etc. We laid out the entire case for her. Trooper DeChico responds, not good enough, should have had me or Jeff do it. I respond, if you two did it, she would have made it accidental or natural causes.
And can you explain the context of those communications or what exactly is it that you and Trooper DeChico are talking about in that communication?
Okay, so the ME is the medical examiner. They conducted the autopsy of Mr. O'Keefe. Our office, it's kind of a little bit of a locker room.
Hold on, wait for the ambulance and then speak up. The jurors
Sure.
can't hear you way back where the court officer's standing.
Get him, Bev.
So like I said, the ME stands for medical examiner. They conducted the autopsy of Mr. O'Keefe. I guess I'll address the conference calls Sergeant Buchanan and I had with the medical examiner. The doctor had some questions as to the facts and evidence, kind of what had transpired, which is common. You know, even if it's a homicide, I've had many calls with the medical examiner's office, even if it's a suicide or overdose, always with a homicide, the doctor wants to know what transpired. Trooper DeChico and myself, we kind of like to bust each other's chops, go back and forth. So that's
Right,
what he meant by
Steph.
saying,
Wow.
rookie move, not going into a meeting with the ME and getting that homicide determination. The original determination came back.
Objection.
Sustained. Next question, Mr. Riley.
Now, as far as attending the autopsy, is that something that typically someone within your office would do, within your unit would do with regard to any sort of death investigation?
Yes.
And do you know who attended the autopsy of Mr. O'Keefe in this specific case?
Trooper Connor Keefe.
And so as far as Trooper DeChico's reference to you not going in or Sergeant Buchanan not going in, is that what you believe Trooper DeChico was referring to in that message?
Objection.
Sustained as to the form.
You indicated that you and Trooper DeChico bust each other's chops. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And can you describe a little more, expound upon that as far as the nature of your relationship and sort of the text messages that you exchange in this and any other communications that you have?
Basically, just kind of needling each other, and him doing that is by saying, texting me, rookie move, not going into meeting with the medical examiner. So that's a perfect example of him kind of just needling me, which we do on a daily basis.
And as far as your interpretation of that, did you interpret that as a serious comment or something said in jest?
I interpreted that as a typical joke from Trooper DeChico.
May I approach to retrieve?
Yes.
So he calls the medical examiner a whack job too, huh?
May I approach room?
Yes.
So we have another document asking, do you recognize that?
Yes.
Do you recognize that to be?
Uh, text messages between myself and Trooper DeChico.
And again, what is the first message sent, date and time, last message sent, date and time, and number of messages contained therein?
It's like Lally keeps doing the throat clear too, which he's been doing that for a few days. It's been getting on my nerves, right? But now I feel like he's doing it because he knows that he's getting ready to ask a question that's going to reveal information that he don't want to be revealed, but it is what it is. Blah, 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 blah. I do not say blah, blah, blah.
First message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022 at 1:09 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022, 4:45 p.m.
And the number of messages, sir?
4.
And if you could read the contents of those messages contained therein. Please indicate who's speaking.
So I start out, of course, it's undetermined. She was a whack job. Trooper Chico responds, "Dear God, WTF, what the hell is inconclusive about the whole thing?"
And as far as
There
your
you go.
indication there, as far as she was a whack job, who are you referring to there?
Miss Reed.
No, you're not. Lie bag. Lie.
As far as the
Your
undetermined of what
pants
you're
are
talking
on
about, what is sort of
fire.
the content or the context of this
Your
conversation?
pants are so
That
on
would be
fire.
the
No.
manner of death was determined to be undetermined by the medical examiner's office.
Hold on a minute.
And so I asked
Hold
you again,
on
as
a
far
minute.
as your reference there in
on
the bottom of the first page, as far as
Back, go back, go back.
It too at 1:09 p.m. Last message sent, date and time,
You're a whole
April
crap.
28th, 2022, 4:45.
You know what? You got loose lips and you got crap coming out of your mouth. So yeah, you got a loose balloon knot, dude. Mouth. Oh my God. Lie bag. Man, yes. I did, Margaret. He's a
5
whole lie
p.m.
bag. He's a whole lie bag, loose mouth. Yeah. Mm.
and the number of messages, sir.
4.
And if you could read the contents of
He
those
said that so fast too. And who are you talking about when you say that? Karen Reed? No, you're not.
messages contained therein. Please indicate who's speaking.
You'd think being a cop, he'd be able to lie good, but he can't.
So I start out, of course, it's undetermined. She was a whack job.
Can't see this real good. What's this say?
Trooper Chico responds, "Dear God, WTF, what the hell is inconclusive about the whole thing?"
And as far as your indication there, as far as she was a whack job, who are you referring to there?
Miss Reed.
Miss Reed.
Now, as far as the undetermined of what you're talking about, what is sort of the content or the context of this conversation?
That would be the manner of death was determined to be undetermined by the medical examiner's office.
And so I ask you again, as far as your reference there in the bottom of the first page, as far as she was a whack job, whom do you believe you're referring to there?
Again,
Reed or the medical examiner?
Miss Reed.
May I approach John?
No. Mm-mm. No. Ooh. Ooh. Are you serious, Shiraz? 10 women and 2 lawyers? Literally, there are 2 lawyers on this jury. Are you serious? It ought to be looking a little sweaty. Mm-mm. Wow. Oh, wow. Hey, Chaloon. Oh, just stopping in before your mom comes for crochet time. That sounds like fun. All right, Steph. Safe travels, friend. Hope you have a good appointment. What doesn't make sense, Kel? She probably does need to see an ENT, right? And I don't know. Mm-mm-mm. All right, let me fast forward while Alan Jackson looks through these messages. Bye, Chaloon. Bye, QB. You have a good day too, ma'am. Soon as this is done, I think I'm going to go over and stream Karen Swift. Right, Kel. Right. I thought that's what you were talking about, but I just wanted to make sure.
Goes briefly on this packet. Gonna maybe approach briefly on this packet.
I would assume they've got quite a few alternates just because they knew this was going to be a long trial. Let's zoom on through here. Zoom, 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 and a zoom, zoom. Okay.
May I approach the witness, Sean?
Yes.
They're handing you another set of documents. View those, look up when you're finished. Do you recognize those, sir?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
Another text thread between myself, Trooper DeChico, and Trooper Kukowski.
And Trooper Kaskowski is another trooper within your unit in the state police, is that correct?
Yes.
And again, if you could read from the first message sent, date and time, and the last message sent, date and time.
First message sent, date and time, 5/24/2022, 9:21 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/24/2022, 4:56 p.m.
This
And as
group
far as the
of
number
jurors,
of
Margaret,
messages
if it was
indicated
us
within this text chain between
in the
yourself,
jury,
Trooper Kukowski,
we'd be
and
thrown
Trooper
out of the
Chico,
courtroom.
494.
fair to say the documents before you do not contain 494 text messages, correct?
Correct.
Just in reference to that first page 26.
Here I say we'll be thrown out of the courtroom, and Margaret's saying we're the answer to world peace here. But I mean, I'm not buying that. I love you, but that would be pretty cool, right? That would be my idea of a good time too.
35
Sure
first
is.
message sent, that's May 24th, 2022, around 9:21 p.m., is that correct?
Yes.
And that's a message sent from Trooper Kaskowski, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is that?
Appears to be a picture of a toy Santa Claus.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2644. If I could direct you to the bottom of the page, sir, and see the text from yourself at June 9th, 2022 at 11:19 PM.
Yes.
Very bottom of the page. And Your Honor, may I approach just to point it out?
Yes.
Yeah, I see it, sir. Okay.
If you could read what you wrote on June 9th, 2022, around that time, sir.
If you like women who shit themselves.
And again, sir, what is it that you're referring to there?
Oh
Again,
my,
a regrettable comment I made about Miss Reed's medical condition.
what?
Now, if I could
It's
direct
disgusting.
you to the following page, 2645. And again, if you could read from that page as far as
Mm-mm-mm.
who is, indicate to the jury who is speaking and what is being said on page 2645.
I'm speaking right now. The statement she made tonight at age 7 was mental. Thank Christ it was on BWC, which is body worn camera. Trooper Kukowski responds, that's her. Smoke. Trooper Kukowski again, what'd she say? I respond, said the Alberts beat the shit out of O'Keefe, left him for dead, and that's why her taillight was cracked. She's gross. Trooper DeChico, oh, fuck her, bitch.
Thank you, sir. May I approach to retrieve, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sir, with reference to that last bit, as far as June 9th, 2022, what was going on that day in reference to this matter again?
Miss Reed was being processed at the Milton Barracks.
Thank you. I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
I can't with this. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'll give another set of documents to recognize those.
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Another text thread with members from my office, troopers.
And who are the troopers that are listed within that?
Trooper Chris Moore, Trooper Jeff Kukowski, Lieutenant John Fanning, Trooper Dave DeChico, and Sergeant Yuri Buchanan.
And what is the first message sent, date and time?
That would be 5/26/2022 at 8:19 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/26/2022, 5:36 p.m.
And what is listed as far as the number of messages within this chain?
651.
And it's fair to say the documents before you do not contain all 651 of those messages within this chain, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2682. You see a message sent from Trooper DeChico on August 17th, 2022 at 9:42 p.m.
Yes.
And is that an image contained on the next page, which is 2683?
Yes, it is.
And what is the image of?
That is a picture of Mr. Yannetti, appears to be from quite some time ago.
Now, turning your attention to the next page, 2684. And there's a response from you, August 17th, 2022 at 9:44 PM. Is that correct?
Sorry, sir, go with the date and time again, please.
Sure. Page 2684, 8/17/2022, 9:44 PM.
Yes,
You see there's like sort of three responses from you.
I have you now.
If you could just read the three responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. No nude so far. I hate that man. I truly hate him.
Now, with reference to the investigation at this point, you're talking about his client's phone. Who are you referring to?
Miss Reed.
And with regards to the phone at that point, can you describe for the jury sort of what's going on during this time period of August 17th, 2022 in regard to Ms. Reed's phone?
So after obtaining a search warrant for Miss Reed's phone, we weren't able to extract any data from it until August of 2023. Troopers in my office knew I was going through the phone that evening. I was most interested in location data, text messages, Google searches. That was the update I gave the troopers in the office. It was a distasteful joke. I should have gave a proper update instead of that. I wasn't able to go through the phone as thoroughly as possible because I came across some text between an attorney and Miss Reed, so I had to stop going through her phone, and I made my supervisors aware of those communications.
Now, just in reference to what you had just said, this is in August of 2022, is that correct?
Correct.
So after a search warrant is obtained for the defendant's phone, where did it go? You indicated you gave it to Trooper Garino, and where did it go?
Trooper Garino essentially hooks it up to a device called Gray Key, where he tries every possible combination passcodes in order to access the data contained in the phone.
And at that time, when you retrieved it pursuant to the search warrant, you didn't have the passcode to the defendant's phone, is that correct?
Correct.
So that device is designed to sort of go through numbers and try to find a combination to get into the phone, correct?
Correct.
And so from the time that you had seized it in late January or on January 29th, 2022, until this date in August of 2022, had you been able to get into the phone or see anything in the phone in those intervening months or 7 months between January and August?
No.
And so then at this time that you're sending this text message in August of 2022, is that around the time that you were first able to access the phone?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yes, that was the first time we were able to have access to the phone.
And with reference to your access to the phone, were you looking for nudes or anything like that in regard to the defendant?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Like I stated, I was most interested in Miss Reed's location data, text communications, Google searches, things of that nature. More evidence contained within the phone.
And so, sir, you mentioned at some point you came across some information that caused you to sort of freeze your looking through the phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so as far as that specific time period in August of 2022, when was the next time that you or any troopers from your office were able to actually look in any extraction of the defendant's phone?
So once I came across that text communication that took place on the 29th between Ms. Reed and an attorney, the phone had to be sent off to what they call a taint team to remove any attorney-client privilege information from the phone, and then it would be returned to us, as well as defense received a copy of that as well. I'm not positive on the time. It was quite a long turnaround for that process to have be completed.
Sometime at least in the spring or summer of 2023. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
May I approach to retrieve, Your Honor?
Yes.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to see you at sidebar so I don't interrupt your cross.
I just can't. Hey, and welcome. If anybody new's popped in, hi and welcome. We are just playing back some of what we missed yesterday with this leaky mouth, loose lips trooper. Mm, disgusting. Jeez, I just can't. Mm. Thank you, Henny. Yeah, give the video a thumbs up. We would appreciate it a lot. We would appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Yes, Shiraz. Yes. Sergeant Barrows, I think. Yesterday, whenever they were loading her car up from her parents' driveway, that sergeant said that the tail light was cracked and there was a piece missing. That's what he said. I always feel so bad when I see his mama right there. Breaks my heart. Poor mama. Right, Shiraz? How did the rest of that tail light get on the Albert's lawn? Well, I have a feeling that uh yes, Miss King, cracked and a piece was missing. Um okay, if you're looking at it from the perspective of how if you're looking at it from how it would have looked with all those pieces missing, he wouldn't have said it was cracked with a piece missing. He would have said the tail light was basically busted all to pieces. Like there was nothing left of the tail light. Right? That's not what he said. He said it was cracked. You wouldn't look at what the final product of that tail light was at the end of the day and said, "Oh, that tail light's cracked." No. You would have said, "What tail light?" There was no tail light left. So, I feel like something happened in that Sallyport. Yeah. Collected, right? Collected. All right, let's forward. Right, Miss King? She says, and they found so many pieces over several days. How is that possible if there's not planting going on? So for me, I'm
So,
thinking
just before you start then, so we'll
when they talked about how the pieces that were found, like apparently they had all these teensy weensy little bitty pieces before they found the big chunky red pieces, you know? And it's like it all fit together like a perfect little puzzle, except for that one piece, except for that one long I don't want to say piece in case there were multiple pieces to that piece, but all of it fit together like a perfect little puzzle, except for that one section on the left hand side of that tail light, passenger side tail light. So I'm like, it's odd that, you know, if you're missing pieces to that tail light and they should all be in one area, where you hit someone with your car, why wasn't there little nooks and crannies that weren't filled in? It was like it was all filled in nice and neat, except for that one section. It's very strange to me. Very
Finish
strange.
at 4. We're trying to figure out the schedule. This time I'm going to meet with the lawyers and witnesses. We're trying to work all that out, but as it looks right now, I thought it was going to interfere with another date this week. As it looks right now, it may not. At the most, it will be half an afternoon or something, maybe on Friday, but it does now look good that we'll be able to continue with this. We're out tomorrow, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be full days.
Right,
And we'll be able to
Steph.
keep moving. All right. All right, Mr.
Or
Jackson, go right
Morgana.
ahead.
I mean,
Thank you, Robin.
right, Morgana?
Super Proctor, in the summer of 2022, August 17th specifically, you were sitting at your desk, presumably alone at your office.
Well, Steph and Morgana, I guess
About
you
10
both said it at the same time. Are you two like joined at the brain or something?
At night, going through my client's personal cell phone,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, you were sitting there texting with your friends and colleagues at Massachusetts State Police about you going through her personal cell phone. Is that right?
Sorry,
Correct,
I'm
sir.
doing a little bit
And
of
that
work.
included
That's why I keep
Trooper DeChico,
turning my
is that
camera off
right?
and on.
The Chico, yes, sir.
Trooper Fanning, Trooper Butnick, Trooper Moore, and Trooper Kutzkowski.
Kakowski.
Tell me that again.
Kakowski.
Kukowski.
Yes, sir.
All right, all the consonants are silent. Fair enough. Trooper Fanning and Trooper Butnick are your supervisors.
Yes.
And you were bragging to all 5 of them that you were going through Karen Reed's cell phone about 9:45 at night.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
No, I wasn't bragging, sir.
How did you refer to Ms. Reed in that text exchange where you informed them that you were going through her phone?
I use regrettable language. I said it going through his retarded client's phone right now.
You were shown a photograph
Okay.
of my colleague.
Okay. So it was triggering enough whenever Proctor said it himself, right? But now is where if you are a fan of Alan Jackson, let me just say this. If you're a fan of Alan Jackson and not the singer, I'm talking about the dude up there in the right above my head. If you're a fan of his and you are not going to like hearing him say really bad words over and over and over, then you might want to leave. Because he's driving home this word over and over and over. Now, I know he's not saying it because he wants to say it. I know he's saying the word because, like QB said, he's trying to drive it home to the jury that Proctor said it. Okay. And how gross it is to hear it over and over and over and over and over. But just letting you know. All right.
Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Same document I need. Your Honor, I think the court has the copy that I was going to use.
I thought I gave him back to you.
It hurts my heart every time he says it sure as. I get it, but it kills me a little bit more and more and more each time he says it.
You'd received a photograph. Actually, Your Honor, if I could, I would ask that this document be marked as next in order. Assuming the witness verifies its authenticity.
So go ahead.
Do you recognize this document?
I do, sir.
Same document that you were shown, copy of the same document that you were shown by Mr. Yannetti, correct?
Stilali.
I've done that twice. Mr. Lally.
Correct.
All right, is that a true and accurate reflection of the text messages that you were exchanging with Chris Moore, Jeff Kakowski, John Fanning, Vito DiCicco, and Yuri Buchanan?
Yes.
I've asked that this be marked.
Okay, any objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you outside on there. Have that, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Sidebar City. Sidebar City. Take me down to Sidebar City where the mouths are loose and the Trooper Proctor is shatty. Come on, Sidebar.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
Yes.
Trooper Proctor, Trooper DiCicco had sent you a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Yannetti, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, because of the technical issue, I'm not going to display on the television. May I display this hard copy briefly?
Sure.
Thank you. You see that, gentleman?
I do, sir.
Is that the photograph that you received?
Yes.
Is that what you referred to on direct examination with Mr. Lally about receiving the photograph from of Mr. Yannetti?
Correct.
And then your response was what?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
Actually, your response was, I'm going through his retarded client's phone right now, correct?
Yes, after the picture, sir. Yes.
Who's the retarded client?
I was referring to Miss Reed again, unprofessional language.
I'm asking who you were referring to.
Miss
I know
Reed.
you got an explanation. Who was it you were referring to as retarded?
Miss Reed.
Karen Reed, the woman sitting to my left.
Yes, sir.
The subject of your investigation as a professional, correct?
Yes, sir.
As an unbiased, objective investigator, the person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded, correct?
Again, poor language on my part.
Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it, right?
Objection.
I've got to sustain that, Mr. Jackson.
After you referred to my client as retarded, then you decided to make a comment about Mr. Yannetti, her lawyer, correct?
Correct.
And what did you say about Mr. Yannetti again?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
I hate that man. I truly hate him,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct.
You didn't say I dislike him, disagree with him. You said I hate him, correct?
Correct, sir.
That's a visceral response to someone who's just doing a job, correct?
Pretty much.
Objection.
Yeah.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Sure. Let me ask it this way. Were you upset or annoyed or pissed off that Karen Reed had gotten representation, legal representation, to represent her?
No, not at all. That's her right.
Well, let me ask you this. In August of 2022, you said you absolutely hate it, correct?
I don't know if I use absolutely. Yeah, I didn't use absolutely, sir.
You used truly, correct?
Truly,
Oh.
yes.
Big difference.
See right there.
I still don't care for him, no.
Right. I'll let it stand.
We want to make sure we got the word right. Don't want to use the wrong word.
What did you tell your colleagues that you were looking for as you sat at almost 10 p.m. at night on a Wednesday night, August 17th, 2022, looking through Karen Reed's phone?
I didn't tell them I was looking through anything. They knew I was going through Miss Reed's phone. I provided a inappropriate joke as an update. They knew I was going through location data, text messages, Google searches. But like I had mentioned earlier, I had to stop.
Except Trooper Proctor, none of that really professional sounding stuff ended up in your comments to your bosses, did it?
Again, it was a poor joke.
Is that yes or no?
They did not know.
It did not.
No,
As a
sir.
matter of fact, what did you write after you talked about going through the quote retarded client's phone?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No nudes so far.
Kennedy should blow him a
nudes
kiss.
So far,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct.
Mm.
And you said that to your bosses.
Yes, sir.
You were looking for naked photographs of Miss Reed on a Wednesday night as you sat in your office at 9:44 p.m., correct?
No, not correct.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked for naked photos of a male suspect that you were investigating?
I don't look for naked photos on anyone's phones.
But you said you were looking for nudes of Miss Reed,
Like I had
correct?
said, Mr. Jackson, it was an inappropriate joke.
Sir, this is a citizen. She's a woman. You were supposed to be objectively investigating. Does your text message to your colleagues at Massachusetts State Police reflect an objective investigation of a citizen?
Objection.
You can get part of that question and ask it again.
Do you believe that your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Do you believe that, Trooper Proctor?
I believe poor jokes have, in unprofessional language, have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence of this case.
It's not that they don't have any bearing on the facts and integrity. It's that they have no place in a professional investigation because it shows bias, right?
Objection.
So I have to sustain that as asked. Go ahead and ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating Karen Reed as objectifying her, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Isn't that right?
Rephrase the question, please.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating her as objectifying her in those moments, correct?
Again, Mr. Jackson, it was a poor choice of words and a joke that I should not have texted out. But from the start of the investigation, we didn't know what we had.
And your Trooper Proctor, your point in saying no nudes so far to your colleagues in Massachusetts State Police was to suggest that you were looking for nudes and you'd update them when you found them, correct?
Incorrect.
Well, let me
Okay.
ask you a question. Did you find any nudes of
Again,
Karen Reed?
I didn't go through the photos, sir.
Did you find any nudes of Karen Reed?
I didn't go through the photos, sir.
You weren't successful in your quest.
I came across text messages from Miss Reed to another attorney on January 29th, so I had to stop looking through her phone.
So you got sidetracked before you could get to the naked pictures of Miss Reed. Is that what you're saying?
Sustained.
To be clear,
100%,
when you sent those
Patricia.
text messages
Every bit of that.
on that group
Yes.
chat. There's text messages included, as we said, or as you said, not one, but two of your supervisors, correct?
Correct.
Were you ever reprimanded for your conduct in sending that text message?
Objection.
So that's sustained. Do we need to go to sidebar based on what you told me earlier?
We do not.
Okay, so,
I'll ask it a different way.
okay.
Did either Trooper Fanning or Trooper Buchanan dress you down in a responsive text message in that text thread for doing something so abhorrent as looking for nudes or referring to nudes of a female suspect or subject of your investigation? Did that ever happen?
Not that I can recall.
As a matter of fact, in reference to one of the text messages in the same string, your boss, Yuri Buchanan, actually responded to the photo of Mr. Yannetti, didn't he?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
He did, sir.
After you received the photo, that's when you said, I'm quote, funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Is that right?
Objection.
I'll allow this, but not too many.
Sure. Is that correct? It's on the top of page
Yes, sir.
685.
That's correct.
And your Buchanan liked that comment. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Didn't he?
I see you laughed at an image here, sir.
Hmm.
I can't tell if he liked that comment, sir.
Wow.
May I approach?
Yes.
I don't know if it's just because it's faded or, yeah, my copy's faded.
Top 2685. You can use my copy if that helps.
All right. Thank you.
What do you see on the top of that page?
They are a bunch of
That it-
spazballs, right,
Sergeant
Morgana?
Mechanic liked it.
Puke.
Like what?
The going through his retarded client's phone, sir.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'll take my copy.
There you go.
So your supervisors at Massachusetts State Police not only didn't ride you for making comments like this, encouraged it.
Objection.
Sustained.
And think about it. This is the time they got caught. Can you imagine the crap they say to each other all the time? Ugh.
Trooper Proctor, this is your direct chain of command. Is that right? You're a Buchanan?
Yes, sir.
100%,
Did you
Patricia.
believe that your conduct was a misuse of your authority and power as you were going through her phone in August of 2022?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No, I had a warrant signed by a district clerk, Stoughton District Clerk, to go through Miss Reed's phone. I don't think it was an abuse of power. I had every right to go through that phone.
Did the warrant say anything about looking for news of my client?
Objection.
Did it
Did
No,
it?
you're-
say anything about that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, next question.
So that would be
And
an
Bev was
abuse
like,
of the power that was
"Spit it
given
out.
to you
Say
by
it."
the court, correct?
Did
Objection.
it?
Sustained.
Trooper Proctor, you'd agree that the hallmark of any good investigation, as you've been taught and others in Massachusetts State Police have been taught, is that the investigation and the investigator have to be fair. They have to be impartial. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that the investigation has to be free of conflicts, right?
Yes, sir.
The investigator has to be free of conflicts, right?
Right,
Yes.
Kel.
The
I know
investigation
that.
has to be free of bias.
I think it's
Is
just
that right?
Correct.
it's just different. And don't get me wrong. I know cops. I have cops in my family, right? Lots of them. And I know I know how things can be, especially with each other, the brotherhood, right? But wonder if it makes them think twice about doing it, knowing that this dude's, you know what I mean, called out publicly in front of God and everybody.
You can't be biased against the person that you're investigating. That would compromise the entire thing, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Basically, you follow the evidence. You're supposed to follow the evidence wherever it takes you, right?
Correct.
Good or bad, top to bottom, just follow the evidence and report it back. That's how an investigation is supposed to be run, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And these are things that you learn early on at Massachusetts State Police Academy and then in your detective training. Isn't that right?
It is.
Literally, it's part of an oath that you took at the academy that you will, quote, faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent on you as a Massachusetts State Police trooper, right?
Yes, sir.
You swore that oath.
I did.
When you start an investigation, everybody in that investigation should be treated exactly the same. Don't you believe that's true?
Correct.
Everybody, have you ever heard the phrase, everybody's a suspect until they're not? Right?
Objection.
Sustained.
It's especially important early in an investigation, before all of the facts are known, that the investigator is not compromised by bias, prejudice, right?
Correct.
Most important early in the investigation, because that's when the most things are up in the air. There's the cloud, the fog of not knowing exactly what the truth is, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
In other words, Trooper Proctor, you don't get to pick a suspect and then try to find evidence to support your choice, right?
Correct.
But in this case, it's exactly what you did, isn't it?
Absolutely not.
All right, Mr. Jackson, why don't we end for today?
This is
Okay.
as good a place as any. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so folks, we're off tomorrow. Those same 3 cautions, please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into this case.
If you happen to see the most beautiful girl in the world. All right. So that is it for what we missed yesterday. Okay. I'm glad we went back and watched, because if you didn't already dislike this dude, then you probably do now. Sandra Birchmore. Who's that? Let me look her up. That's not the girl that got pulled over driving and then wound up dead in the jail cell, is it? Her name was Sandra. Mm. Mm. Wow. Oof. Wow. I think the one I'm thinking of was Sandra Bland. Let me look up Sandra Bland. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, is Sandra Bland. That Sandra Bland, that was horrific. Her story. Lank is involved in that investigation with the Birchmore, Sandra Birchmore. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm behind. Can I say the F word, Jen? I love her. So I'm gonna go ahead and scooch out of here, but I'm gonna start another stream here in a little bit to speed watch and catch up on the Karen Swift murder trial. If you're not familiar with that case, we've been speed watching that one. It's a quick one. It was only like a week long, I think. And we're speed watching it. That trial is crazy pants. Suspected swinger situation, hot tub parties, all the things. But anyway, we're catching up on that one. And thank you, Shiraz. Thank you for the link. Sure thing, Jenny. I'm glad you could come in here and rant. 100%. I'm going to go ahead and create a new stream for the Karen Swift. Hey, Amy. Amy WC. Hi and welcome. Welcome, welcome. But I'm going to start a new stream. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm always down to rant, Jenny. All right. Oh, well, Amy, just heads up, our TMI Steph in the chat, she likes to use the wordy dirds. So that's one thing we love about her. Let me go ahead and create a stream. Hold on, y'all. I'll go ahead and create it real quick while we wait for just a minute. Curly words, right? She does like the salty language, that's for sure. I'm going to put some music on for just a minute and so I can get this other stream going because you all know I can't multitask, right? You know I can't. So let me put some music on for you guys to listen to while I get this stream together, and I'll put a link to it in the chat. That way you don't have to look for the notification to pop up. There we go. There's some music. I will be back in a moment. All right, back. And I have the link for you guys. Hold on just a minute. On the highway, want to tell something real quick. Oh, the link to here, I think is what she means. Okay, well, first, join us for the Karen Swift murder trial in a few minutes. Paste this link here. Paste. There's that. So click on that and join us over there here in just a few minutes. I got it scheduled for 1:10. But you'll have to wait because that's like it says waiting probably because I got to go start that stream as soon as this one ends. But Steph wants to say something real quick. Hold on. Let me send her a link. Here you go. Steph. Watch her come up here and yell the big F word. Watch her do it. Watch her. I guarantee you she's going to do that. Because she's crazy pants. Because she's crazy pants like that. Crazy pants, crazy pants. She's a fancy pantsy, crazy pantsy. Crazy pants. Crazy pants, fancy pants. Crazy pants, fancy pants. Come on, Steph. Hurry up, ma'am. We got things to do, places to go, people to see. Steph. Hold your ears, Amy, if you're listening and you don't like the F word, just in case Steph comes up. You never know. I won't say it out loud on here, but that don't mean Steph won't. Come on, ma'am. Where you at? There she is. You want on camera? All right, here we go. Oh, wait. There we are.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, because I am in the car. Anyway, so I've been listening with Aiden in the back seat. Normally he has his headphones on.
Okay.
But he heard the end of Lally questioning proctorologist. And he didn't say anything until I went into Bojangles to get some sauces. And then after I came out, he's like, can I tell you something? And I was like, sure. And I was like, so I couldn't help but overhear some of that court stuff you're watching. And as a retarded person, F you to Proctor.
Oh, good
And I had
for
to
you,
tell
Aiden.
him he's not a retarded person. That's a word we don't use. But yeah, he's still like, F him. And then he's like, put him in jail.
You know what? Good for you, Aiden. I don't know if Aiden can hear me, but good for you, buddy.
I don't think he can because it's not coming through my speaker for some reason. But I wanted to tell y'all that he was just like, F him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Okay, love you. See you on the other
I love you.
stream.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Quit looking at the phone. You need to be driving,
I'm
ma'am.
stopped in
Oh,
traffic.
okay. You're making me nervous. I'm starting a new stream, so head over there.
I'm going.
Okay.
Yep. I'm almost at the doctor though, so I'll probably just wait until after we're done to catch up.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and thank you, Aiden, for your words. You're a very smart young man. You let him hear that whenever he's able to hear that. He's a very smart young man. So.
Thank you. Thank you. And he takes pride in who he is. It's something that I made sure to teach him very early on, is like, that's one thing about you. That's not all of you. Like your
Mhm.
autism isn't all of who you are, but it makes you part of who you are, and it's what
Right.
makes you special and important, and
Yeah.
it makes you different. Everyone has a difference, and
Mhm.
everyone deserves respect.
Yep.
So he takes ownership of things. Sometimes wish he wouldn't, like the bad word. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Some,
Yeah.
sometimes like the bad words that he shouldn't, but he's not
Oh,
offended by it. I guess he's just like, screw him. So
good for him. Good for
I didn't
him.
use the F word if Amy's still in chat.
No, I'm sure she might be. She said that she liked that something about salty language too. So I told her, I was like, hey, yo, Steph uses the word. And
Yeah.
Steph's a moderator here. So like it or not, it
I
is what
almost
it
was
is,
like,
right?
ma'am, I'm a mod. I'm asking Jenny. But I also want all of chat to feel comfortable, so I wasn't going to if anyone objected. All
She
right,
said
love
she can
you.
handle it, and she is here. All right.
Yay.
Good deal.
All right, I'll see you on the other one.
All right. Love you, babe. Have a good
Bye.
day.
You
Bye.
too.
She's so cute. Oh my goodness, she's super cute. Didn't get this far in life without hearing a few bombs. I know. I know. Don't get me wrong. I say wordy dirts under my breath or to myself, but I don't say bad words online because I've got a lot of family that watches and a lot of like little ears that pop in from time to time. I got nephews and nieces that are little bitties, and I got a kiddo that I don't want repeating things that's here. So, yeah. Um, glad to meet Steph and her son. Yeah. He's something else. He's something else. And so is she. All right, you guys. Thank you for that, Steph. That was a neat little oh, yay. Um, Morgana says, no, you don't. No, I don't what? Cuss under my breath? Hmm. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. Let me put the link in here one more time. Where is that link? Here we go. Let me copy it, paste it one more time. Join us over there. Amy, you're welcome to join us as well. If this is a trial that you've been catching up on, is the Karen Swift murder trial. Um, and we would love to have you over there too. All right. I'll see you guys over there momentarily. I'll start the stream and get the music going. I like starting stream in a moment, screen and music. But I've got to take a potty break and get another cup of coffee. So, yeah, I'll see you guys over there in just a few minutes. Bye.